Bill C293, is it good or is it bad? Let's check it out. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. I have been asked several times over the last few months to review Bill C293. I have read it a few times and I think I'm prepared now to give an evaluation of what I think are some concerning points involved in this act. Let's talk about what Bill C293 is. It's an act in the House of Commons that was passed, I believe, on June 5th, 2024. And it is an act respecting pandemic prevention and preparedness. Now, under Section 1, which is the short title, it can be cited as the Pandemic Prevention and Preparedness Act. And then it goes on to purpose of the act and all the rest of that. There are a few things within this act which jump out at me as being a little bit concerning. And to set us up for that topic, let's go to the act right now and talk about a few points. Under Section 3, subsection 2, paragraph B, identify the key drivers of pandemic risk and describe how Canadian activities, domestic and abroad, contribute to the risk. What's a little bit concerning here is they're focusing on what Canadians do, not just what the government does, not just what industry does, but what Canadians do. Now, that may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing. I'm not going to judge it, but it will lead to further discussion about a few things later on. So keep that in mind. Then we go to Section 3, subsection 2, paragraph C. Ensure sustained collaboration between the Minister of Health and provincial governments and Indigenous communities in the development of the plan in order to align approaches and address any jurisdictional challenges, including with respect to the collection and sharing of data. On the surface, that doesn't seem like a terrible thing. We need to know how the diseases or any potential diseases are spreading and where they're spreading to and how they're coming into being. But what does concern me is we're starting to get into the area of surveillance and the monitoring of people's activities. And that will be of concern later in this bill. And we'll talk about that when we get there. Now we go to Section 3, subsection 2, paragraph G. Provide for the establishment of interlinking surveillance systems for infectious diseases in Canada and for infectious diseases of concern outside Canada. Again, on the surface, that doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. We want to know what's happening in Canada and outside of Canada. What's of a potential harm? But remember, Arrive scam and all of these ideas of having a pandemic passport or vaccine passport, which essentially Arrive scam was, that leads to a lot of infringes on your personal information and on your personal freedoms. So we really have to be careful when we start going down this road, especially when it comes to interacting with international organizations such as the WHO. Do we really want international organizations such as the WHO and the UN knowing about us and having access to our information? I don't think so. So then we get to Section 3, subsection 2, paragraph K. Include the following information to be provided by the Ministry of Industry. Subparagraph 2, the communication capabilities and infrastructure for electronic platforms and tools, including electronic applications that enable contact tracing of persons exposed to infectious diseases that could lead to pandemics. Arrive scam. Do we really want this? Arrive scam is probably the biggest boondoggle in this area. And Parliament is mainly concerned with the corruption involved, how much money was spent. But it was also a surveillance tool. And do we really want the government to be able to surveil us, to be able to tell where we've been and what we've been doing? I would say no. Most of us have nothing to hide, but do you really want the government to have that much information about you? And how secure is that information? I think that when we start going down this route, it's a very slippery slope. I personally don't like it. Now, here's where we get to some interesting things. Section 3, subsection 2, paragraph I. After consultation with the Ministry of Agriculture and Agri-Food, the Minister of Industry and provincial governments provide for measures to reduce the risks imposed by antimicrobial resistance, 2, regulate commercial activities that can contribute to pandemic risk, including industrial animal agriculture. So they're getting into regulating the livestock industry and the food processing industry, particularly the meat industry. And this is what concerns most people, and you'll see why in the next section. Subparagraph 3. Promote commercial activities that can help reduce pandemic risk, including the production of alternate proteins, and phase out commercial activities that disproportionately contribute to pandemic risk, including activities that involved high-risk species. They're talking about promoting fake food, Beyond Meat, all that kind of garbage. So the synthetic meats, the plant-based meats. Throughout our history, we've had a lot of different times when the government or industry has tried to push on us these ultra-processed foods, and it's never gone well. In fact, we are the least healthy we've ever been. If you listen at all to Robert Kennedy Jr., he's got a lot to say on this topic, and he's a very intelligent person, somebody that we should listen to. This is bad stuff. We should not be going against our biology. We should not be trying to substitute our food, our meat, for this garbage that they're trying to push on us. And why are they trying to push on it? Is it just the elites now who are going to be able to eat meat, who are going to be able to be healthy? I'm really skeptical of this, and I think it's a real danger. Of course, this wouldn't be a liberal bill if it didn't talk about deforestation and urbanization and our environment minister, our radical environment minister. Deforestation, of course, is important. We all love our forests, and our forests are important to us. We need to preserve them. My overall impression of this bill is that it's not good. I think that it's designed to whittle away at our Canadian culture and to impose on us certain things that our government thinks are good for us, but aren't. I don't think it's really about the pandemic at all. I think it's about changing us by force, but that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think. Put your comments down below. And while you're at it, please like this video, share with your friends and on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. Also, I do have a live stream on Thursday evenings, and I invite you to join in on that conversation. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Finally, if you want your Canadian firearms license, also known as a PAL, either for employment or for hunting or for recreation, I do teach the required courses. If you reside on Vancouver Island or will be here for any length of time, I invite you to look me up. There are links in the description of this video to my website where you can sign up to take the Canadian Firearm Safety course. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.